Brandon, it's time.
What's it time for?
It's time for you to give your top 5 Gridiron Grandmasters.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Let's
It's
do
time.
it, huh? So we got a nice fancy graphic for the people, right? And what Brandon's going to do is break down 5 quarterbacks that really stand out in the NFL, right? Who are the most high-valued quarterbacks that the NFL can offer right now? So, Brandon, talk to people through this graphic right here.
All right, Liv, you don't seem combative. You don't seem like you want to fight. But if
Be careful.
But okay. But if you want to, like, feel free to push back at any moment, right? Because I know some people can be like, what? What about this guy, that guy? Feel free. So let's go back to this list. Can we throw that graphic back up? Gridiron Grandmasters. First, why is it titled that way? It's titled that way because I'm a big chess fan, right? It's a game of strategy. It's critical thinking. To be really good, you got to think 5, 10 moves ahead. The Grandmasters, sometimes they got the whole game played out before they sit down. You've seen some Grandmasters play with their eyes closed, or because they're just listening. Okay, this person moved at this spot, that person moved on that spot, right? So you can throw it back up. They don't need to see me. Everybody see me all the time. They don't need to see me. But you know who you do need to see at number 1? The queen, most powerful piece on the board, Patrick Mahomes. And this is undeniable. I don't think this is even a debate. Liv, any pushback here? Is any debating that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league?
He's number 1 for me as well, so I'm not going to push back on that one at all.
Okay. No. All right, so let's Corey.
No, I was saying no pushback yet. No pushback yet, right, Liv?
I see some pushback coming up, though.
It's
I
coming
sure
up. Stay tuned for the pushback.
Okay, hey, Liv, remember where you're from, okay?
That's right. Okay, I'll keep it down.
Okay. Remember where you're from. You're from Denver, okay?
Yeah, right.
All right. Is there any, please, I think there is a little debate here, but how can we really debate Aaron Rodgers at number 2? Because when you think about the best thrower of the football ever, you have Aaron Rodgers to me as 1, then Patrick Mahomes 2. Who else has the arm talent as these guys? And then also Aaron Rodgers, he still can play at a high level. Didn't he win back-to-back MVPs?
He did.
And then last year was just a year that the whole team imploded. Yeah. He's not cooked. He's not done. Okay, so is there anything there that y'all want to say or push back on me before we get to the big pushback?
Absolutely.
So you don't like Aaron Rodgers at 2?
It's a respectable number 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. Are we talking currently right now, or are we looking at the whole thing? Because my answer will shift. What I saw from Aaron Rodgers last season, I was very unimpressed by. I personally, my number 2 spot right now, I'd push Joe Burrow into that number 2 spot just below Patrick Mahomes over Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers, but I want to see it and not believe it. Again, I know he's done it, but I'm kind of in the now right now. I'm in the now. So I don't necessarily hugely disagree, but I would put Joe Burrow at 2.
Okay. All right. So here's what I want to say here, right? We have to really define this and be clear. If I'm starting a team, this is my list. But if we're going off of what have you done for me lately, then this drastically changes, right? You still have Patrick Mahomes at 1. And if Ashley was here, she'll be calling me out. Oh, you're what'd she say? You're contradicting yourself. Da, 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 da. I'm like, Ashley, listen to what I'm saying. Do you listen at all? Right? So you have Patrick Mahomes 1, but then you know who slides in number 2 if we're going off of what have you done for me lately? Can anybody guess?
Are they on this list?
Go ahead, Woo.
Oh, I want to say Joe Burrow.
No, it would be Jalen Hurts.
Oh,
Jalen Hurts was just in the Super Bowl
that's what I was
last
asking.
year.
I'm like, I feel like it's somebody who's not on this list.
Oh, not on the list. I took it as who's
No. It will drastically change because you have what have you done for me lately?
Right.
And then Russell Wilson, A-Rod may not even make the list, right? Because I didn't even thought about that yet. But let's go back to this because here's where I'm gonna get some pushback. Russell Wilson, 3. Woo, why are you looking at me like that? Why are your eyes big? Why?
You have a lot of faith in Russell. That's why my eyes got big. Because, the thing is, at his stage in the game, to take such a dip, you worry. You know, it could be the end. Okay. I know he had a great 10 years, but it could be the end.
Yeah, you just worry if he lost it or if it was just a down year. Of course, this would be the year where, you know, we can make that determination, but, you know, we just going to have to see.
They had so much hype going into the season.
Right.
So let me do this really quickly. Let me put in
but I get
quarterbacks, QBs. I'm going to put QBs in the – no, I'm going to put all-time. Let me do it this way.
I do get what you're saying by, like, these are the quarterbacks that I'm going to start a franchise with.
Okay,
you know?
all-time
they have a resume. They have a built-up resume.
Quarterbacks, QBs. Hold on. Y'all trying to rush. We're not on ESPN. We're not on F1. We're on YouTube.
Take
your time.
Take your time.
Come on. Let the beat build a little bit. All right, Liv. I'm gonna say some names out there. All these are quarterbacks. No, this is not a trick. Tom Brady, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Ben Roethlisberger, Troy Aikman, who will be on the show next week, I believe. Phillip Rivers, Len Dawson, okay? Warren Moon, Drew Brees. Oh, my goodness. You know how many records Drew Brees broke?
A lot.
Unbelievable. John Albert Elway Jr. Have you ever heard it broken down that way? Look at Liv,
because I'm like, who's John Albert?
Did I say Peyton Manning? Did I say Joe Montana?
No, you haven't yet.
Did I say Johnny Unitas? Did I say Roger Staubach? Did I say Steve Young? Did I say Jim Kelly? Did I say Sammy Ball? Did I say Eli Manning? Did I say Matt Ryan? Okay, Joe Flacco. And I'm like, why would Joe Flacco? I didn't say, like, listen, I say all that to say this. The most winningest quarterback through 10 years.
I know he's going to bring it up.
It's Russell Wilson.
I know he's going to bring it up.
1 year is not going to change how I feel about the most winningest quarterback in the NFL. So, Liv, that's why he's at 3. Any pushback there?
Yeah, because as a Broncos fan, we emptied the bank on this man. So my expectation was very high. Kind of like, you know, the argument of, again, 1 year, you don't really want to give up on that. But at the same time, how do you tank that low? How do you go that low from what you have, from where the standard has been for you for so many years? So I'm kind of in the believe it when I see it as a Broncos fan. I don't want to believe that in just 1 year he can completely turn around like that. But I don't know. He definitely didn't play like the winningest quarterback. Let me put it that way.
I agree. I agree. There's a few things that came up there. Injuries, et cetera, and then you had Nathaniel Hackett, who's our offensive coordinator with the Jets now. He contributed to that. But look, we will see, because you're right, when you're paid that much, you got to find a way to get it done. What are you hearing in Denver? Sean Payton's down there. Before we finish this list, are people excited? Or do they feel like, Sean Payton is the answer? They feel like Russell Wilson looks better? Like, what are you hearing?
Here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Russell Wilson finally has a coach that can put him in his place a little bit, because I think here's the problem. A lot of people think like you do, Brandon, where it's like you are the winningest quarterback. I think Russell even thought that way when he came to Denver. It's like, hey, look at my resume. Okay, well, that resume worked in Seattle, but it's not working in Denver. So what are you going to do to fix that? And I think what happened is he came in, and because we emptied the bank on him, it was kind of Russell's world and we were living in it. And at the end of the day, as great as you are as a quarterback, you're not the coach, you're not in charge. And from what I understand, Sean Payton's main priority was really changing the culture of this team. It was getting everybody back kind of to the bare minimum, the basic level of this job. And kind of, I think the culture was the biggest priority here. And it sounds like it's been working in their favor. Not sure about the new slogan for the Broncos.
Oh my
Uncommon.
Gosh.
I think I'd rather have "Let's Ride Back," if we're being honest. But it sounds like they got a slice of humble pie, and he's kind of checking everybody, which I think was needed.
Love that. Hey, before we move on, I just want to jump in the chat. Liv, we like to jump in the chat here. I'm so glad you didn't tell us where you live, because you have Tyrell Bond here, who I guess I love you for supporting us, but he says, I will walk the world to her front door. And then he has a bunch of emojis. So it seems like people are loving your contribution to the show thus far. They're loving the blonde hair. They're loving your takes.
Appreciate it.
All right, so just jump in the chat, and if you see anything that you want to talk about, you can talk about it. Let's move. Yeah, so there you go. There you go,
Wait,
Liv.
real quick, before we move on, what's the new slogan in Denver right now?
Uncommon.
Uncommon? That's the slogan? Like they're saying that just as often as they were saying, like, let's ride last year?
Apparently it's on t-shirts, and there was an article that said that is their new slogan this year, uncommon.
Uncommon. That's interesting.
I mean, I know winning was very uncommon out there, but like, let's not.
Right.
Why are we?
I feel like there's so many
like,
ways you could play. You know, you could play with
what
that
the
slogan.
hell?
Yeah, I feel like it's not even positive. Is that even like a
It's
positive
not.
slogan?
It's very like dull. It's
Yeah.
very dull.
It
I
It
don't
can
understand.
be. It kind of works a little bit if you think about it. It's like what's uncommon is for a team to go from where they were last year to winning a Super Bowl. I think they're my dark horse, Liv. I'm telling you, it depends on how well Russ and Coach Payton gel, because you got to think about defense is phenomenal, right? They were giving up, 13, 16 points a game, something like that, right? So they're just like, please, just score 2 touchdowns, and we're going to win this game. They couldn't do that. And then on the offensive side, they got weapons. Jerry Jeudy, the big receiver coming back. What's his name? Patrick. Excuse me. No disrespect. Yeah, Patrick, and you got Cortland, right? So I really like that, and they're high on their running backs as well. So I like that. Before we move on to the rest, no, wait. Let's go to number 4.
All right.
I'll be quick here. All right, so number 4, Joe Burrow. No debate here. Well, the only debate is that Liv has Joe Burrow at number 2. If you're starting a franchise right here, I will actually agree with Liv. But Joe Burrow is a guy, right, that can easily, he can easily be the guy in the NFL, right? Maybe this is, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow is the old school Tom Brady, Peyton Manning type thing, right? Where they're going back and forth. Both resides in the AFC. So that's interesting there. And the last one I have is Lamar Jackson. I have Lamar Jackson there because, it's easy to disrespect Lamar. It's easy to do what the Baltimore Ravens and so many other teams did. Said coming out, well, not the Baltimore Ravens, they kind of disrespect them a little bit recently. But, hey, he's not a quarterback. Do y'all know that when Lamar Jackson was coming out, some teams didn't even have him on the board as a quarterback? They had him on the board as an athlete, a wide receiver. Let's change your position. He waited. Remember, Miss Felicia Jackson and Lamar was sitting in the green room for a very long time waiting for his name to be called. Disrespectful. But the kid goes out there. He saves John Harbaugh's job. Joe Flacco goes down. He goes and wins 6 games in a row. He gets him in the playoffs. He wins MVP. Come on, Lamar Jackson's like that. And I truly believe Lamar Jackson may be in position to have another MVP type year. And it's another team that we need to watch out for. So to round this Grandmaster edition of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, you have Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Am I good there, Liv?
You are. If we're talking about right now, believe it or not, I have a take that I don't know if many people will like, but I actually have Trevor Lawrence in my top 5. He is at 5.
Wow.
But I just saw something in him in the postseason last year that really has me excited about where he's going to go and the longevity that he's going to have. So again, if we're talking right now, I know he hasn't done a ton to prove where he's at, but from what I saw at the tail end of his season last year, I really, really like Trevor Lawrence right now. So I'm going to go, he's 5 right now for me.
All right, there we go.
His head coach feels the same way. We was actually just talking about him the other day. They're really optimistic with how, he'll look going into next season by carrying over that momentum that he had saw, at the end of last season.
She ain't far off. She's off, but not far off, right? Like
he might be like 7,
like for real,
like 7, 8. But,
That's right.
But yeah, he's right there.
We'll see the first 8 games.
I'm wondering how you leave a guy like Josh Allen off this list, though, Brandon. How you leave Josh Allen off?
Can we throw that list back up? Patrick Mahomes, the best right now. Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest ever. Best thrower of the football. Russell Wilson, the most winningest quarterback through 10 years. 1 year is not going to determine his legacy and what he's capable of doing. Joe Burrow could easily be, like Liv said, number 2. Damn, maybe there's some people putting him at number 1 now. And Lamar Jackson's just disrespectful. And that's why I did it, is I want people to understand that Lamar Jackson can be anywhere on this damn list any given Sunday. It's hard. So you have Justin Herbert, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Josh Allen. There's some you have Jalen Hurts. You have some quarterbacks out there that's worthy of being grandmasters. but just not on my edition. Maybe we get to week 2, we'll do it again.